Hello, hello everyone. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? If anyone can hear me, can you type in yes in the chat box? Welcome, my friends. Here I saw Gary, uh, Gary Chai, if I pronounce properly. Paul Maurice, Rod Rodrigo. How's everyone? It's 9 p.m. over here, 4th of October 2023 in Malaysia. Broad 10 a.m. morning. Okay. Mm, box litter. I'm not sure. I recognize you. I can see the chat on another screen. Okay, it's not a real time, but I think it's okay. Hi, Enrique Gonzalez. I know you. Uh, okay, before I start, maybe I want to chat a little bit first. Maybe we start in another 5 minutes. Okay, see more people joining tonight. And As you know, my place here, Malaysia, especially the area where I'm staying, Cheras, we are having a problem of air pollution, suspecting the burning of forests in Indonesia, our neighbor country. So the air quality over here is not very good. I'm staying in Cheras, where we are having this air pollution index API of more than 150, which is unhealthy situation over here. So in the afternoon, there is a short rain. Maybe it's a artificial uh, initiative. I don't know what it's called. Um, the I think the Department of Environment put in this seed on the cloud, then they pour the the sky will fall some a few, 1 or 2 hours of rain. So I think the situation is better now. I hopefully tomorrow morning we see the situation is improving. Yeah, it's like smoke. Yeah, it's kind of like smoke. It's not from the uh, it's not from the vehicle or from the burning open burning, but it's I think almost every year we face this problem, and this cause problem to our tourism and school where the some of the schools need to be closed. So today we are not talking about this air pollution index, but what we are talking about is the API, uh, web API. What we have what API? API actually the API means application programming interface. Okay. Okay. I hope you can see my screen. The font size should be okay. Actually, I prefer to use Microsoft Paint, but my Microsoft Paint also having some issue where I cannot use the text, cannot draw text over here. I cannot use the built-in text function. Maybe I can use my finger to draw. Okay. So I think I will use the notepad to type. Okay. So let's start. I make an introduction first. I think I share something. Mm, Okay, not sure you guys have seen this post before. I made this post in my source code compilation. Okay, where I create a table. I make comparison between these 5 projects that I have uploaded to the forum. Okay, you can check inside the share your B4X story subforum under my name, my source code compilation, or if you see my signature, you can also click over here and come to this page. Okay, on the latest post for this thread, you can see this table. Mm, well, these 5 projects, except for this JISDC server, which I include in for just for comparison. Actually, the other 4 are the actual web API project that you can use for your B4X project. Let's say for your B4A, B4I, or B4J client, you can access the web API server. If you have any question, you can type in the chat box. Then after a while, if I saw your message, then I will answer your question. Okay. Today I will share the latest project web API version 2. The rest you can check it if you click the link over here. Okay. So we have a uh, quick understanding on this web API 2 version 2 project. Okay, for this web API version 2, you can click on this link. Okay, then you come to this page. Okay, you can see version 2.03. I'm working on the version 2.04. Okay, it's still in beta. I will continue this development when I have time. I think I will release the full version of version 2.04 after the B4J version 10 become the full version. Okay, but anyway, you can actually download this project template and then try it out. And if you find any bugs, then you can report to me. Okay. So for this web API version 2, similar to the version 1, we are building this web API server using B4X technology or programming language. Okay, we are using the B4J server, and the output of the the binary file, the output is JAR file, Java archive file, and then you need to put in your VPS. Okay, I have my VPS using Hostinger. It's a very good hosting service provider. Okay, if you after you have compiled the project, you can upload it using a FTP client. What I'm using is this WinSCP. Okay, so I have one subdomain over here that where I upload all my files. Okay, let's say I'm logged in over here. Hold on. Okay, this is the VPS that I'm using. It's a very low cost package, but it's decent to use. Okay, it's running on Ubuntu. The location of the server is in Singapore. Okay, how do I access the server? I'm using this WinSCP. After I log in, I create a B4J folder inside my home, and then I upload let's say I upload my project. Let's say this is a project that I created using the template, the API server version 2 template. So I need to upload the JAR file. I have the config file and then the www folder where I put my asset file like the CSS, okay, the image file. So how do I upload the file? I'm using the putty. Okay, log in with the root username and then I copy the password over here and then press enter. Then I'm log into the console or terminal over here. Okay, here I can upload it. I can drag and drop my file over here actually. Okay, but when I want to run the server, I need to use the command. Let's say I want to run this B4J web API app client. Then so I need to run the command no hub and then the Java command -jar and then the jar file and then the triangle symbol and the output file. Okay, so this is how I run the server in the VPS. Okay, so I also can see the output file once it's running. Okay, it's running like this one, API server running on which port number. Okay, and then the log appear when I use the log command in B4X, then it will log my request. Okay, so this is on the VPS. Any question so far? Okay, so how about we start a new project from scratch? Okay, we start B4J. So now I'm using the version 10 beta 1. Okay, this is the latest beta version, and I have the template over here. Okay, this is the latest beta version for my web API server, where you can download over here. Okay, you can download over here. Let's say you click this one, you download this file, let's say on your desktop, save it. Okay, so you copy this file or you cut the file and you put on your B4X additional folder under B4J. Okay, and then you paste it over here. Okay, you paste it over here. Then you can restart the IDE or you can refresh the library. Okay, now right click over here. Okay, never mind. Then we start this one. Then it should appear the B4J IDE over here. When you click new, then you see this entry, the item over here, where you can start the template. Okay, you click over here. Then you can create a new project. Okay, let's say I put my project on the desktop. Okay, I select this folder and then create for this one YouTube. Oh, no, I put live demo. Okay, live demo. Then click OK. Then the project, the template, create the project, scaffold the project, or create a template. Okay, you can see on my desktop over here. You double click the project, you will see a lot of files over here. Okay, this is the project B4J project file, and then inside I already have the asset file. Okay, this one you can replace with your own files like image or CSS style file. I saw Paul has a question about the web server. The web server, actually, this B4J project is a web server. Okay, it's using actually is a J server project. This is based on this server template. Okay, because you don't see the library over here selected for the server, right? This J server is not selected. By right, is selected, but I already include the server over this web API utility, so you don't see the library over here selected. Okay, here just now I think I forgot to explain about the web API utilities. This utility is in version 2.03 is actually is a class, separate class under this module, but in version 2.04 beta 4 I already put in I already make it as a B4X library. Okay, if let's say you can download this web API utilities B4X library, and then you can check inside the library. Okay, let's say I put the desktop. Okay, let's have a quick check. This is the library. If I open it using the unzip tools, okay, you see I have the snippet file. Okay, this is the latest B4J feature, and then I have the function over here. This web API utility I already combined the previously utility class and the web utility class become one module. Okay, you can see if I have this manifest text file. Okay, you see over here I put in the Java object, Java random access file, JServer, and JSON. So you also notice that here I don't include the JSON library also, right? Okay, so this one already defined over here inside this B4X library. Okay, if you want, you can check the this file, the class over here. Okay, this is the class. I don't think I open this font using B4J. Let me open with a text editor. Then you can see the functions is over here. Okay. In the previous version, all this inside a class called utility. Okay. There are a lot of functions, useful functions where I developed from Web API version 1 until version 2. Okay. You see, especially the return success or return API, a lot of useful subroutine or methods that are included over here. You can use it to process your upload. Okay, request data. This is very important. This is where I use this function to read the JSON. When you create the Web API, you have in Web API or we call REST API. Okay, we have this what we call get, post, put, and delete, maybe patch, or I don't know, head. I don't know which. This one we don't use, right? These two we seldom use, but usually we use get and post. For this post, we need to have a body. Okay. So same with the put also we need to have body. So for this request data, you will see it more often when I explain about the project later. Okay. Or if let's say I open another project. If I'm not sure whether previously you are using my project or not. I think in version 2.03. Okay, old version. Okay, we check this one. Okay, you can see the JServer over here. Over here we don't have web utilities class, so you can check the utility over here is same. Over here we have the request data over here. Okay, it's the same. Just in the new version 2.04, I put this one utility and this utility and web utility, both I combine and merge it and become the Web API utilities B4X library. Okay, so let's forget about the old version. Okay, let's we continue with the latest version. Okay, just for this one, we just see no error, right? So we just click the run button and we compile the project and see what is the output. Okay, completed successfully. It's very lightweight and you see it's compiled in very short time. Okay, this is the web/hub where you can see the documentation, or maybe you want to if you use mouse, then you can hover your mouse over here, and then you click here to click to browse. Then you open the web browser. Okay, it's not having anything over here because we do not create any new item over here. Okay, if you click this, this is the home page. If you click over here API, then you come to this help page. Okay, where you can test your project. Okay, now in this help, this project, I have three what I call controller. Okay, one is the category controller, product controller, and the last one is the file controller. Okay, from this B4J project, you can see the project is the controller is over here. For index controller, it's not shown in the help because this is the home page. Okay, the index controller is very simple. Not sure whether you can see it. Try to zoom in. Okay, the index controller is where I show the web page, where is the main and the index I combine using the function over here, and then output as you see over here. This is the output of the index page. Okay, it's using I'm using JavaScript jQuery. Okay, you can see over here inside the asset.js folder. Okay, it's under this asset.js. I have this web API search. This one is the JavaScript file used to call the API. Okay, it's using the Ajax. You can see it's using jQuery Ajax to call the API. Okay, this one maybe we come back later. So basically, you don't need this index if you only want to build your web API server just for consuming by the client. Okay, let's say how should I explain this one? Okay, let's come back to the main one. Okay, this one I think I don't want to explain about this variable, but we start from this app start. Okay, this is the J server. Okay, it's a J server, B4J server, or we call it B4J server. Okay, how is work is first you need to use this server. We need initialize without any event name because this one is not, the event name is not important over here. Okay, the server object, this is the server object. Okay, we only need to start the server object, and then at the end we need to use the start method to start the server. Okay, this is just a log. It's optional. Okay, you see it's just log the message on the terminal or in the log. Okay, just log this message over here only. Okay, you see the API server version. Okay, open the following. Okay, and then the URL for this help page. So this one is not important. Okay, the most important is the server. You initialize it and then you start it. Okay, and then there are two more methods before the server start. Okay, one is the read config. For the read config, is reading a config file, config ini file inside the file the app directory. The app directory is basically the objects directory. Okay, you come to objects and you find this config ini file. Okay, uh, before you start the project, the ini file is kept inside here. Here I have an example file. Okay, the example file is just a default file over here. Okay, when the project start, it will copy to the from the file asset directory to the object folder. Okay, so you will get this file copy from the asset folder. Okay, it's basically the same file from the asset folder. Okay, you can modify the name of this project. Okay, let's say this is the minimalist API. This name. Okay, let's say I try to change this one. Live demo. Okay, then I put this one live API. Okay, this one trademark I put B4X. Okay, I click on Control S save the file, and then let me stop the project and then run again. Okay, and then I'll try to refresh. Then you see the name already changed based on the config file over here. Okay, this is a config file where you can change the port number also. If you have certificate, the HTTPS or SSL certificate, then you can put the port number over here, then you will redirect. Okay, let's say I put this one 198.8.0.0. Okay, I save this one, but I also need to put my Windows. Okay, I need to uncomment this one. In Windows, I need to have the key store file where I generate using the Java key2 command. Okay, you can generate this command. For Linux VPS, then you can follow my tutorial. You check the running in Linux VPS. You get the key store file, then you can uncomment this setting. Okay, SSL certificate, so just leave it as default. If let's say you want to use MySQL, later you want to connect to your MySQL database, then you can use the setting over here. Okay, then we can read the object, the variable, the key over here from the read config method. Okay, we just read the file as you see this config is a map, so we get the key. Then this version is the version is do I have version over here? Oh no, the version is a new key added to the config file, because the config file we don't have version. This version is read over here. Okay, if I change this to version beta 5, let's say, run the project again. See the beta version 5 over here. So refresh, you see this one is version 2.04. Refresh, then you see the beta over here. So the version is over here. It's just add another key into the map. So it's not very important over here. Just put demo over here. Okay. So this is about the read config. After that, another one is the config server. Okay, here you see there are some method that is compulsory, mandatory that you need to have, and some are optional. Okay. So if let's say the server port is non-zero, then we need to assign a new server port number to the server object before we come back here and start this server. Okay. Maybe I come this one by one. Okay, for the config port, this have to be the first one to run. This configure port, you see over here, we read the setting from the config ini file, and then we get the value from the key server port, and then assign this to this server port, and then we put in to this global variable, and then we assign it to the server object. Okay, just as simple as it. So maybe the port number by default is 8080. So if you don't set the server port, okay, let's say here you don't set the server port, okay, or you put it 0, then when it runs, you default to 8080. Okay, let's say I put in this 0, this one also 0. Okay, save it. Okay, I already stopped it, and let's try to run it again. Okay, you see the port is set to 8080. Okay, because we didn't set the server port. So if we refresh, we cannot access the server because it's assigned to a new port. We cannot access this one because it's we need to have a web over here. Okay, this is the server is now running on port 8080. Okay, why we put the server port 19800 is because in version 1 I'm using this port number. So to make it compatible with the Web API client app, so it's using this one. So I don't need to change anything on the Web API client version 1. I think the latest version is 1.05. Okay, so you see it's I forgot. Yeah, mention over here. If you use this Web API client 1.05, you can use for Web API version 1 and version 2. Okay, this one Web API version 1 and version 2, both you can use the client. Okay, you can use the client. So how you get the client? You can come back to this version 1, click this link, and then you scroll down, and then on here you can download this Web API client. Okay, and then after you download, you have to copy to your B4J additional folder. But since it's a B4X client, means it's a support for B4A, B4I, and B4J, so you have to put in inside the B4X folder, additional folder under B4X, and you see it's put in over here. So when you want to create the B4A version, B4I, or B4J, you can create from the template Okay, let's say I want to create the B4A version client, okay, I can click here, then click new, then I can create a project over here. Okay, I think I have a older version. Okay, I can have the B4A version, B4I version, and B4J version. Okay, let's check this one. You see it's connecting to this 198.0.0. This IP is the server IP. This is my local Wi-Fi IP. Okay, you see this one. My IPv4 IP is this one. So in order for the Android app to run, I need to connect to my local uh, Wi-Fi IP. Okay, so we check on this later. Okay, I explain about the server first. Yeah, we can use the Raspberry Pi as a server because this one we can run the server inside uh, any server OS like Linux or Windows. Okay, as long as you have the Java JDK, Open JDK, then you can run the server. Okay. Just now I show about my VPS. You can run the server VPS, run a server on VPS. You can follow the tutorial by arrow. Okay, run a server. Just upload your JR file and then you can run it using the know-how. Okay, and I think error has mentioned about the server is running on the Raspberry Pi. I'm not sure which tutorial is it. I think it's the server template tutorial. Okay, it's running. It can be run on the Raspberry Pi. And if you have watched my YouTube video previously, I also have a print server. I have a print server running on my Raspberry Pi. Okay. Mm, which one? Print server. Okay. Okay. This is a Raspberry Pi.
58mm.
You can check this one. This video. Okay. It can run on the Raspberry Pi. Okay. Let's come back to the project. Okay, I think I explained until which one, configure server. Okay, after the configure port, then is about the configure paths. Okay, this one is just read the setting from the config ini file. Okay, just now I show you the file is this one. Okay, just read I think the path. Okay, path is over here. So the default path is this one. This is the local IP, the loopback IP. Okay, sorry, loopback IP. So or you can change it to local host. Okay, but if you change to local host, okay, Control S save. Let's say I stop and run again. So it's now the server path, the root URL is now this one, localhost. Okay, hold on. So you still can, sorry, I think it's changed to 198.0.0. Okay, actually you still can replace it if localhost. Okay, it's still running. Or if you have your, if you have your hosting, let's say mydomain.com, so you need to replace this one. Okay, then the API will point to, when you run the API, this one, then it will point to the correct path. Okay, but for local development, you just use the 127.0.0.1. Okay, I think it's better to use this one. And then I use this web. This web path is this name. You can change it to other name if you like. Let's say you want to put it as demo, but if you change this one, maybe the server will not work in certain cases. Okay, so you need to find out if it's not working, then you have to modify, especially where I set the JavaScript. You see this one, if you change the name of the root path. Okay, the root path you change to demo, then you need to change this to demo. Okay, you see my project, I have another project named Shell or support, for the technical support, ticket supporting. So I need to change this one. Okay, if let's say I have different application name, then I need to change this one. Okay, otherwise if you get error, the path is not correct. Okay, we undo the changes. Okay, undo the changes. Then the API, as you see, this is, if you come here, you see this API. Okay, the API is over here. If you don't want, you can remove it. If you don't want, you can put it's empty, then it won't show. Then the versioning, you can also set it as false. Then the URL will have a different format. Okay, you see, this one I think something wrong. We try to access again, see if still we can get. Because this one we have the web handler. Okay, if we don't set the web handler, then we come to the web handler later. Okay, if let's say we modify this one, we still have the web. Okay, let's say I don't want to have the web. Is it working or not? I'm not sure. I think we have to put in something. Let's say demo. I think we need to put in a name. Otherwise, the web interface will not work. Okay, for the API, it may still work. Or demo, we cannot have demo. What happened over here? Okay, we need to debug this problem. I think it's in the controller. I think for the time being, we better don't change this path. We just leave it this web. Maybe because the API name we didn't set, so we come back to this controller later, and the handler. For this one, it's not working because both the web and the API maybe is configured over here. Why is conflict? I think is over here. You see, over here I have the web handler, I have the API handler. Okay, so in this case, if you don't want to set the API name or API version, then you need to modify here. Maybe in other time, if you really need to have the setting where you don't want to have the API name. Okay, let's say you don't want to have the API name and don't want to have the version API version name, then you let me know, then we can work out for this. But for this demo, we just leave it as the default. Okay, let me run the project first and see. Continue afterwards. Maybe in the future, let's say any one of you want to have your own setting. Okay, after the configure path, this one, if you study the code, then maybe you can make your own changes. But for my template to work with the URL format, okay, as you see over here, web API over here, okay, web API for this kind of format, okay. So it's better we just follow this format, okay. So currently you can see is if the host name, the port number, web, and API. Web API, then the version and the categories. This version is not set inside the config ini file, it's set on the controller level. Okay, it's basically set in the over here. Okay, this is the controller level, so we set it in the command over here. So you see the structure, the URL path is like this one. Okay, this is the endpoint. Okay, so we continue with this one, the path. Basically, you don't need to change anything over here. Just leave it the config will do for you. Okay, we set the setting for you. Just follow web. This one, the port number. Okay, the port number, and then slash the web, slash your API, and then slash the version. Okay, so the next one is the configure element. This one also you don't need to change anything from here. It will control based on the index, based on the setting that you set over here. So let's say I don't have the web handler, I only have the API handler, then it will automatically set the path for you. Because if let's say you have the API level, you don't want to have the web handler, the structure will be different. Okay, like just now this one, let's say you don't want to have this one. Okay, you also don't have this one. Maybe you only have the program, the app name, and slash this one. Then you see the categories now is maybe is let's say this is index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2. So the categories, this name endpoint is the index of 2 for these categories. But let's say if you have this one, web API v2, then the index will be different. You see, this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the index is 4 in this, instead of 2. So it's handled over here, the element over here. You see, if let's say the element have the root, so we need to add more item into this list. This type is a list. Okay, so the root path is the 0, and then the web path, the application name is the index of 1, and then the API, if you have the API name, then it will increase another index, and then when you enable the versioning, like V1, V2, okay, like V1 or V2, so the versioning also contribute to the element indexing. Okay, so if let's say you have the version, it will calculate the index size and then assign it to the global element where you use it in your controller or API handler or web handler. Okay, so this is about the element. This element is for controlling the indexing, the number, the part of the web API endpoint. Okay, so for this template to work, is basically based on the index. Okay, I separate it using a slash, so this element will have the index of its own. Okay, this is how I control, especially this is the last, I call this last element and have the last index. Okay, this is how I think how the engine work, okay, or how the framework works. Okay, so next thing is the handlers. Okay, these handlers also automatically set for you. Basically, since this is a web API, the most important thing or the mandatory is the API handler. Maybe you can have just an API handler without the web. Is possible. Let's say you just comment this one, so you don't get the web API. You don't get the web interface. You don't get this handler, or this is the help handler, and then you don't get the web handler. This is the web handler responsible to display the web interface, the UI. If you don't set this one, then you don't get the web handler. Because this web handler will control the index controller. Okay, this web handler is only handled for this project. For maybe your project have more web interface, then you can add in more here. But for this project, I have this index page. You see, with a get, then control the index controller. It will route any request for the web interface to this index controller. You see, this index controller just load the index HTML. Okay, the template HTML template, and where we here, yeah, okay, web handler. This only call the index controller, only one controller, and for this web handler is responsible to route only the get method, because we want to display this one. We use the get. How do we say? Oh no, we also can get the post for the search. Okay, this one I think is using a post method, and then for the default data, since we don't have any data, for the default one we use get. If we look back at this JavaScript, okay, this one is get JSON. Okay, we also can use the default one. Later we add in more sample data and then we see how. Okay, but for this one, what I want to say is for the handler, under these handlers, we have the most important is the API handler. This help handler and web handler is optional actually, but you may leave it over here. If let's say in the production you don't want to show the help handler or the help page over here, you don't want to show this to your user, for your end user, you can remove this one. Okay, how you remove, and you see you can remove it over here. Just comment this one, then it won't load. Okay, if let's say I comment this one and then I compile the project or run the project, you try to access the help page, then you can't reach it. Okay, you try to access, you can't reach it already, because I already comment this one. I don't add the handler into the server. Okay, if let's say I don't want to add the web, also same, I cannot access the web. Okay, I cannot access the web, but for API, I still can access the API. Okay, the JSON is still output over here, because we have this API handler over here. Okay, this one, because let's say this one, why I have this if else case is because inside the config ini I can have this API over here. If let's say this is empty, then it will read over here. So you see, this is the API path. So this is basically the /API okay path. Or if you don't have the API over here, or you put it empty, then you will load this one. Means this one, if let's say I put it empty, then the whole API will be called without this API. Then this one is basically your API. Okay, let's say not sure you can follow or not. Let's say API name is empty, version I still keep it, click save. Okay, I try to run it. What did I mean just now is if I don't want to enable the web interface, I only want my API to serve, the server only serve the API, then I only have the URL format will be different without the /API. Okay, you see, is it working? I see, without the /API, it's still working. If I put in this one, you see, I get a bad request. The API is not correct. It's still you don't get any error, because it's I think it's handled by the handler. Okay, the API handler that this one is, maybe we read this one as the version v2, and then this one the indexing of the element will be handled by the framework. Okay. So this is a correct one. So, but I think I want to include the API over here. So it's more obvious to me that actually I'm calling a API instead of the web interface. Okay, I think I need to restart. No, I need to uncomment this one. I need to enable the web handler and then the API handler. Okay, run the project again. Then we come back to the original form. Okay, so this is what I recommend. The original form is this one. Okay, so I come back to the original form. Oh, the help handler is not page not found. Okay, we come back here, and then we also uncomment this one. We allow the help handler to show. Okay, is my live still running? I think it's still running. Okay, can we show our help page? Yeah, we still can run the web page, the project. Okay, if we run this one, we have an empty item. Okay, because our category model or the list, since I'm using the minimalist. What is this minimalist? Minimalist is a library that I create, which is using the B4X collection list to store the item. It can be a in-memory, a temporary storage if you don't want to use the key value store. But over here, I use the key value store, so it will save the data, okay, inside my objects, and then it will save as this kvs dat file. But you cannot open it to see the content because it's using key value store. You just have the key. You see, uh, I think it's not initialized or what, or maybe because we don't have the data yet. Okay, I'm using the minimalist library. Okay, this one minimalist and the key value store to store the data. Or optionally, if you don't want to use the minimalist, if you want to build a more bigger project, you can use the database SQLite, MySQL, or SQL Server. But for this, for the starter, for this project to start, for this template, we go for the minimalist for easy demo. Okay, then for the next one I want to explain is the configure controller. This one, if you include this one basically is to control what controller will display on the help page. Okay, you see the help page over here. You see we have category, product, and find, right? So how we show it is we add it over here. We add the controller name. See the controller name. We over here we have I have 4 controller, but we don't add in the index controller over here because the index controller is not an API. What we want in the help page is we want to test the API. Okay, we want to test the API endpoint, so we include the controller over here. Let's say I comment this one. Okay, let's say I only want to show the category controller, so I comment all, just left the category controller, see what happens. Okay, okay, we refresh this one. See, I only have the category controller, so you can include it by adding the controller over here. If you don't want to show, then you just delete it or just comment it. Okay, if you want to show, then you just show it over here, and then you will show over here. But even though it's not show over here, the API is still working. Okay, and if you want to hide, let's say you want to hide a certain endpoint, you can use the keyword in the comment. I show you later. Let's say now I have category and product. Okay, for easy, we just I undo the action. Okay, I just want to show the category, so it's easy to see for us. Okay, So come back here, and then you see we only have this category control. Let's say I want to hide this from display here, but actually it's still enable for you to use the API. You just hide. You just want to hide from displaying over here. Okay, let's say how if we want to hide it, if we use the keyword hide. Let's say for these get categories. Okay, this get categories is this one. This is the read all categories in minimalist. Okay, if we want to hide, then I can also put a comment and then I put a hash, then hide. You can use small letter also can. Okay, we run the project, restart the project, compiling. Okay, after the project compile, then we refresh. Okay, we refresh this one. You see the item is not show over here, but we still can call the API. You see, it's still calling the API. It just don't show over here. I don't know, maybe you don't want to see so many endpoint over here, so you can use this one. But normally if you want to show the help, then usually you don't hide it. Okay, I don't know, maybe you want some of your end user or developer, you want to allow another developer to access the API, then maybe you can hide it or you can show it. Okay, so I unhide it, show it back, and then it show it back over here. Okay, how I haven't finished this one yet. Yeah, okay, I finish it first, then we run the demo on the page. Okay, the next one is the configure response. This one you can leave it as this one simple response to true and map. Okay, this one, what is simple response? This one I think is commented out. You see, over here is commented. If let's say it's enabled, then if you follow the simple format, I show you what is the difference. Okay, now you see, now the format is like this. And if you call this API, okay, let's say I create another one, duplicate this one. Okay, basically this API, when I click submit, is actually calling this API where API v2 categories. Okay, it show this type of JSON output. Okay, where I have the key A, R, S, E, M. What is this A, R, S, E, M means? Basically, this is the code, the return code. This is the result or the result that you actually want, where this is the result, or you want to call it response. Actually, this is the result. Okay, the result that you want to see, or the data that you want to get from the database or resource, the data from the database or my minimalist. Okay, S is the status. If it's success, it show okay. If not success, it will show otherwise fail, or I'm not sure. Okay, E is the error, since we don't have error, and then this is M is for the message, you show success. Okay, if let's say categories, do I have different? I'm not sure. Maybe what could be the error if I put in any error over here? Status. Okay, basically we can also use this HRM is the HTTP response message. We can customize the error message over here. Let's say the status. Is this the status? Yeah, because why? Because I Paul Morris asked me, why do you use abbreviated JSON key? Okay, this is because why? The reason is, I think I have explained in uh, previously. I have explained in the previous version. Okay. Why the reason is there are few reasons that I want to explain. During the web API version 1, I think I already used this format. Why is it I use this one? I think forgot whether I explained this one or not. Mm, Basically, last time when I worked with the API in my previous job. I come across one of the API provided by the courier service or the logistic. So the logistic company, they provide the API where they are using this short form abbreviated uh, format. So from there, I think it's quite simple. Uh, so I just follow this format. And then I also have the reason why my API response. I don't know whether. Okay, I have explained over here actually. I think a secret about my web API response. You can read it over here. Uh, it's from a logistics service provider, and I think it's very simple and easy to understand. But if you, let's say, you don't want to use this format, okay, you don't want to use this format, you can modify it your own in the utilities or web. Under this web API utilities, you can modify it. Okay, I open it back the previous project to show you how, if let's say you want to uh, modify the version. Okay, this is the old version just now I created using the version 2.03, the older version. Okay, how if you want to modify the format, it's basically in the return response over here. Okay, you see, this is the map that I want to. Let's say you want to change the format. Okay, this one you want to change to status. You can do it. Okay, this is the, I don't know what is this A code means. Uh, they call it Eric code. Eric API code. I don't know. You want to have a code like status code. It's up to you. Status code. This is the result. Then this is the message. You can do it over here. Then when the project run, when it's called the return HTTP response, then you call this method, and then you return the JSON format as you define over here. Okay, you want to have this one error. Then it's up to you. You can modify this. This is a open source project or library. You can modify your own. But after you modify, you can, I don't know, you just use it for yourself, but you don't call it your own library. Maybe you want to create another library called Paul Web API library. You can uh, use, I mean, refer to my style, but it's up to you. But for like the licensing, you actually you can use my project, but you don't, I mean 100% you claim this project is created by you, then it's okay. It's what we call this one, I don't know what is this called. Is it GPL version 3 or what? I don't know. Just you 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 don't call this web API template 100% everything, every letter, every character is created by you. Okay, maybe you call it on other name, and then we just modify the some of the functions. Okay, you just modify some of the function, and then you distribute the other one. It's up to you. It's okay for me, but you just don't upload to your GitHub. I mean, and then you say this is developed or created by you. You can, I mean, you can fork, or how to say, fork, or what what we call this one? Is it? You can fork, or you can, let's say you can, what we call this, fork, or you can fork the project, or you can clone the project with your other name, okay, with your username, but you don't specifically say, oh, this is created by you, and then all the source code is 100% the same. Okay, you don't do that. You can create like web API, your name, and then your name. You can fork it and then modify something, or you can create a brand new project and use other project name, but the source code may be different. Okay, you can make different source code. You can change, you can add in inside the utilities, the utility, you can add in more method over here. Okay, you can put in more method over here, like my method, but you don't claim this. I mean, you don't download my whole project and then upload it as your own. That is the licensing. Okay, this one is the old version. Okay, I already explained about this JSON format. Okay, you see this map, I create the map with the key and value, and then use this map to JSON, and then use the response, the servlet response, to output it back to the client, to the web browser. Okay, this is where the response dot write, is it? The response dot write, yeah, the response dot write the text to the screen. Okay, or when you use the B4X client app or your JavaScript, if you read the return, the data, okay, as this one. So you can see this is a list, and then if the curly bracket, this is a object or map. Okay, maybe if you want, you can read this one, and then you can modify my utility class. Okay, this utility class is in version 2.03, is a separate class. Okay, you see there are a lot of methods over here. You can add in your own useful method, and after you modify, then you distribute, and maybe I find it useful, then maybe I can copy from you. I think it's okay. Okay, we come back to my explanation over here. Okay, old version, we don't need it. Come back over here. I haven't finished explain everything. Configure response. Okay, I demonstrate what is the configure response means. Okay, we come back over here. This is the standard. I call it standard response. Okay, if I, let's say I uncomment this one, and then I click here, go to identify. When this is enabled, then the format will be different. If you follow the simple response, okay, and then the format is a map. means the format will be start with this one. If I put it as a list, then it won't return this format. It won't return the content as this one. Means you don't get this one. Maybe you get this one, the curly bracket format. Okay. So let's see. We try to run and see what happened. Oops. I made a mistake. Just now I want to demonstrate something. I forgot what is it. Never mind. I will explain this one. Configure response. What is this new? Okay. We come back here. Maybe I try to refresh and see. You see, when I set the simple configure response to simple response to true, then the response will only show the result. You remember the R one, the R. Okay. If let's say I put it false over here. Okay, I run it again. If simple response is false, means it's follow the standard format, the abbreviated JSON format. Okay. You see, I refresh. See, it come up this one. Means this is false. If true, then you only return this one. Okay, this is the map format. If let's say I put this as a list, some developer or some user, they want the JSON response will display different format. So it depends on what your requirement or what you want to develop your API format as the output. Okay, I refresh. Oh, it's not showing because I think the category controller, yeah, this one is hard coded as a list. Okay, this one we can use a different style. I don't have. Let's see, I have this one. No, this maybe in my another project that I use another sub to handle this category. I mean the response. But for this one, I hard coded as list. Actually, it can based on the format. It can based on the what is this format? What is this simple response format? Okay, I can put it as main simple response format. Means this is if I set this as list, then it will show as list. Should be if I think. Since we already have the simple response set to true, then you will run this line of code. Okay, I refresh it. Still not getting. Why? Oh, because is it? Because I have the data as list. I can't remember this one. Because basically I prefer the standard format, so that's why I just ignore it. If you let's say you want the simple format, I can't remember this one. I thought it should be working. I think I haven't. Maybe I didn't test it properly. Maybe it didn't work, or maybe the new something wrong with the version. I think I made a lot of changes until it broken. Yeah, I think it's not working. I don't know. Should be if change this one, it should show some kind of map, or it just show something I forgot. Maybe you need to check my old source code, the utility class, web utility class, how this return simple response work. I can't remember, because basically I use this format. I use the standard format. Okay, sorry about that. Maybe we come back this one. Maybe in the next version, maybe I will fix it. Okay. We come back to other function. Okay, I think we have done almost all for this configuration. This is the log. Just now I already explained. Configure SSL is like, if let's say you have the HTTPS or SSL certificate, your let's encrypt or other kind of certificate that you use in your server. This configure course is the the cross origin in JavaScript. Okay, this is I mean, in the it applies to the JavaScript only. If let's say you have B4A or B4I or desktop, it doesn't matter. Okay, it only when let's say like just now I use the JavaScript. This one, if let's say I access the API from the other origin, means with other port number. Okay, I have another application. Let's say I have a Vue, I have a React application with different port number. Let's say it's the app is with port 3000 or port 5000. Then I cannot access the API with other port. Okay, if I don't set the API, I don't enable I don't allow the cross origin. Okay, so if you want, you see, I want to allow let's say this is for my Vue tutorial. If you found the Vue tutorial is using the port 3000. Okay, so this is where we set the cost. I think I borrowed the code from other member of B4X. I think I forgot who is the member. So basically, this is how we handle the cost in the B4J server. Okay, we can allow the origin, the methods, or we allow all using the asterisk. So if you don't set this one, then never mind. Or I think it's okay. You can comment it if you only allow your B4A or B4J application. You don't allow JavaScript, the web front end, to access your API. Then you just leave it. Okay. If you want to allow the JavaScript, the web front end, such as your Vue, okay, your Vue application, your React, your Angular application, then you should have configured this one. Okay, for static files is just for the triple W format. Let's say we don't want to allow end user to access our assets folder. Okay, our assets folder is over here. We don't want to let the end user to see what is the file inside. If you don't set this one, what happen? What happen is okay, we run this one without setting the configure static file. Okay, so what is up? We refresh and see. Yes, yes. Oh no, sorry. It's a web. I think under www is the assets. Okay, you see, if we don't set the static folder, or we you see, if we don't set the directory allowed to false, then it allows the end user to access. They can read the directory uh, structure. You can read the image. You see the icon. Okay, you can read the asset. Okay, you can read the CSS file. Maybe we don't want to let the end user to access it directly over here. Maybe I don't know if you store any sensitive files over here, but it's not a good practice if we share the folder. This is a public access folder assets inside. You see, under this www, this is the public access files, static files. It's not a dynamic content. Okay, so usually we set this one static file. It's recommend we enable this one. Controller, just now I already explained, is about the help. Okay, configure key value store is we are using the key value store, library, to store our data inside this database file. Okay, we store our category list, product list. If we don't use database, we don't use SQLite, we use MySQL, SQL Server, PostgreSQL, then is we keep the data, persist the data into a database. Okay, I'll demonstrate to you. This one we configure the value. If let's say I check it, comment it. So what happens is, if let's say we insert data, the data will not persist into the database. Okay, we come back to our help. Okay, now of course we don't have any data yet. Okay, let's create one data called a category. I copy this one, I paste it over here. Test category. Okay, I click submit. So you see this is already inside, stored in the memory of the server, inside a list called category list. So let's say I stop the server and then I run it again. See whether we still can see the data. We can load the data. Okay, I click submit again. You see, the data is not persist. It's not stored inside the database. Okay, if I want to store this one, my minimal list, I want to store the list into my KVS DAT file. This DAT file will store my data. Then I have to configure this key value store. I make use of the key value store to save my data. Okay. And how I save? I have a function. Write KVS. I use this KVS put to write the data in this category. Let's say in my post category, after I done all the read from the data, then at the end I use this main write KVS from my main module. Okay, I write the category, the list name into my category, my minimal list save into this key. So in the key I will get the data. Okay, I demonstrate to you. We repeat the step I done just now. I did okay. Here we still get the empty. If let's say we come back here, we click this one. Let's say I create a new category called demo. Oh, the category name is now. Oh, I think it's because the API is not correct. This is not. I suspect this is the key should be name. If I'm not. Oh yeah, you see, the key should be name, not the category name. If I check over here, you see, I need to use the name. I need to read the JSON key name to uh, put inside the category name of my list. Okay, we come back here, we click submit. We see, oh, this one is the just now I put the wrong key, then it become now. Okay, the second category is demo. Okay, this is the correct one. So, however, we created this is the second ID, this is the first ID. Okay, we stop this one. You see. Okay, now we run again. See the data is loaded when the server is started. Okay, we come back here. We come back here. Okay, we submit. See, the data is still here because it's kept inside our key value store. The key value store, if we open it, I double click using the DB browser. Okay, you see in my here, I have a category list persist inside my key value store. The value of this one is a block. We can't read the value, you see, it's a binary value. So this is a simple way to store our data, but we cannot see the value, the actual value. Okay, we cannot see the actual value of this one. All this is serialized using the B4X serializer and keep it. The value is I don't know. We call it encoded or what, or transformed to other object format or data type. Okay, but when we load the project using the key value store, we load the project. We can read it using the get default or get. Okay, the key, and then the value we load into this value and pass to this category list. Okay, then the category list will be used since it's a main. Then we can make use when we call the get. We call the get categories. Then you see it read back the value and read the the property is a list, minimalist list. Pass it to the response data, and response data will pass to the R key. Okay, the R key will return this value. Okay, what is the we will pass it to this web API, this one. Okay, the R will return all this one. This one is come from this response data from this one. Okay, in the minimalist is already a list type, so we just pass the list to the response data. This response data expect a list format. Okay, so if you have a map, let's say you generate a map. Okay, in over here, this get category is it get a single map object. Okay, you see, after I find the ID, let's say 2, if you assign it to a map object. Okay, how? Okay, let's say I use this one. This is the second method we use. We pass the ID over here. Let's say 2, then we get the ID of 2. But the method that we use here is return a map. This M1 we need to if a simple object, it should be return a map. But if we want to have a standard, since this response data is a list, we need to add this map to this list. So when it return it as a standard format, then it's in a square bracket. Okay, this is the map object inside this list. Or over here, every map object will be add inside the list. We want to make sure that the response return is a list. Okay, if let's say you want the response is a map, then you should be something like this. Then you need to configure, you need to modify the class yourself to return in this format. For my API, I have this format. Okay, so let's say, for example, just now when we started, when the model or the list is empty, it will return something like this. Okay, this means the 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 list is empty without any object created. Okay, when the list is non-empty, we have items, then we show like this format. Okay, let's continue. I think almost okay. Next one is the configure basic authentication. This one I don't recommend to use, but you can still use it for your API. This is the basic authentication where you put in the bearer in the API header, but I don't recommend this one because when you use this one, you set this one, you cannot remove it. I don't know how to remove it in the server, the browser. So if let's say your API is B4A or B4I, maybe you can use this one. But for browser, for front end, I don't recommend to use the basic authentication. Okay, or JWT token, JSON Web Token. This one you can use it. Actually, I use this JWT in my project, the shell project. I use the JWT. Okay, the shell project. This one. This one I use JWT for the authorization, the routing. So the JWT token, the refresh token, and the access token will be saved inside the browser. Okay, this is another topic which I'm not going to discuss. So this is already available if you want to make use of the JWT. But if you want to use the JWT library, you need to download my JWT token. What is it? I forgot what is it? JWT. Oh, JSON Web Token. Okay, you need to enable this library. You can download it from my API project. There I have shared a few library which you can use optional. You can use the library over here. See, the JSON Web Token. I think I have I make it a library, or maybe you want to use it as a class or module. You can download from here. You can use the encryption. You can use the basic. If you just now you want to use the basic authorization, you have to download this one and then copy to your project. If you want to use cost filter, then you have to put in this one. I think this one is already included in the template. Yeah, it's already here, cost filter. So this one you don't need to download. It's already in the template. If you want to use the JWT authorization filter, then you have to download this one. And mini ORM. Mini ORM is a database builder class where if you let's say you in the future you want to use SQLite. MySQL currently is not tested. Currently is only support for SQLite database. It's a class where you simplify the, I don't know, is it make your job easy easier or difficult, I'm not sure. But some of my project I use this library or class to uh, I mean manipulate the database from the SQLite, because some of my project I use SQLite as the backend database. Okay, so you can use the mini ORM. Okay, so I think that's all. Okay, that's all for this. Yeah, this quite long time I explained this one. Since this one the configure server is having a lot of methods that you can use over here. But I think we need another session, maybe in the future, next week, or I don't know, or we will explain more about this template again. I think it's almost 2 hours now. Okay, we try a few demo before we end, or I open to anyone who want to ask any question, or after that you can ask me in the forum. It's okay. If you new to web API or REST API, okay, you have to read about it on the internet, or if you want to ask any question, I will try to answer you. Basically, the REST API, you can use it to get any resource. Maybe you can get a value or entry or data from the database or any list. Okay, you want to get a image file, you want to get a QR code, you can use the get method. Okay, for the post, you need to put in a body, or you need to put parameter. Actually, the get also you can use parameter. Okay, the parameter in the O star, I don't know, you can, I call it O star. You can put it like this one, key 1 equals to 1 and key 2 equals to 200, something like this, or ABC. Why I don't like this method? This one is for get method. Okay, this method I don't prefer it, because sometimes, let's say you want to have something with space. Okay, I say my value, then the value will become something different. You see, it will become like percentage and 20 inside. And then when you want to pass the data, you want to read the data in the backend, you have you need to encode it to like HTML. You need to handle escape some characters. So I don't prefer this parameter value. Okay, instead I prefer to use JSON. Okay, we use this kind of JSON format. So over here we can have my value, we can have emoji over here. It's possible, you see, you can use this kind of things over here. But if we use the get method, we put in parameter, it's not look very nice for me. And it's more, I think it's more professional if we use JSON. It's look more organized for me. Okay, as I say, for the get we can use the parameter. For post we also use the parameter. Okay, for the body we can put in the parameter, or we can put the JSON. In the previous technology we use XML. Okay, so for the post and put, you see over here, if you check this one, we also have the body over here, enable for you to input your content, this one. Okay, for the get, you see I don't have the body, I don't need the body, but you see the parameter over here not required for this one, because this is all categories. For single category, I can put in a parameter over here. Okay, I can put in 100. Okay, this is the ID over here. Okay, I can put 1, okay, or 2. Okay, this is the parameter. Or in the default page, I also can have this parameter. Actually, I think it's built in. Oh no, it's not enabled. I forgot about it. I think I have one built-in function called seed. I'm not sure whether it's working or not. Okay, you pass in the parameter to the get. Oh, the seed is not working. I think I have disabled it or what. I forgot. See the category over here. I have the category, but over here no result because we haven't created the product. Let's say we have a quick one. We create a demo, and then I put in a quick one. Let's say burger. This one I put this code 001, and then burger is $3. Okay, demo burger, submit. New product added. Okay, so this is under category demo, and this is over here is loaded. See the default. This is the parameter that I want to say mention just now. I can put in the parameter, and then I can call the API. Okay, before that, recently I also created a Postman alternative. I can show it to you. Okay, I open my preview of my work in progress project. Okay, this is a project that I'm working on. Okay, let's make it a release, and then I click run. Before we end this session, I just want to show off this project. It's a Postman like client where you can use it to instead of using this web API help page, you can actually use B4J application. Currently, I'm not sharing the source code yet. Maybe in the future, I'm not sure. Okay, this is my client, or is something look like the Postman, but recently I feel quite frustrated with the Postman application because I lost all my collection, all the test API that I'm tested previously, all gone. I don't know. That's why I want to build my own version of API. I still have some history over here, but it's not all. So all my collection, I don't know. Last time I have a lot of collection. I have organized all my collection, but now all gone. Okay, so I built something similar to this interface where I have collection. I can define a group of collection. I can make the request, let's say, for this request. Okay, copy this one, put this one, click send. You see, the result is come out like this one. Okay, when I use my own application, I also can do the same. Okay, I click you want this one not required. Okay, I put this one, I click submit. Okay, basically this one also not supposed to be here. And I click submit, then I get the same result. This is a Postman alternative that I am working on. I also have history. You see this one default. Let's say I click this one. You see this history I have. I delete this one. I delete this one. Workspace, I click this one. Because this is safe, I can save this one. Then it's already saved in the response. As I clear this one, I click save. Okay, this is empty. Okay, then I click this one, okay, empty. Then when I submit again, you see the result over here. And then when I click the history, I can see again my history, the API call that I made before. Okay. If I come back to workspace, I want to inquiry the categories 3, click submit. It's show empty because the category 3 is not exist. If I put 2, click submit, yeah, it's showing the demo where we created just now. Demo, and then the history is over here. Okay, with the response already saved. Okay, means I have this save history, means when I call the API, at the same time it's saved into the history. Okay, yeah, I click this one again, this is empty. Okay, if I click submit, the result over here, if I click save, then this response will be saved. When I click then I come back here, then the result will be loaded. Means it's already saved my response. Means I can check it back. I can read my previous run API. Okay. So currently this is the work in progress application. I'm not sure whether it will be available in the future. Make it open source. I can have other collection. Okay, I have this is I do for my client. This is for testing my client application. So this is the testing. Okay, so for dashboard, currently it's empty. Maybe in the future I have a dashboard where I have the statistic, the chart, okay, the logs, okay, anything that you want to maybe you want to see for as a admin dashboard. But the most important is the workspace tab, the button over here, and the history where you can check your run API. Okay, I think that's all for today. I have explained. I think I used too much time explaining on the first main module. Only because this main module is quite complicated, where I have a lot of methods over here. In the future, I will explain more on the API handler and the app handler and then the web handler. Okay, the handler is the default for B4J server to handles the request from the client. Okay, be it a front end web client, the web browser, B4A, B4J, B4I, even B4R. Okay, you can use this web API to generate the JSON format API. Okay, I think I'm going to offline. If I don't see any question, or you can send me any question in the forum. Okay, if anything I miss, maybe we talk about on the next YouTube live. Okay, goodbye. Thank you for watching and joining me tonight or this morning or afternoon. Okay, bye. See you in the forum.